Okay, so Super Bowl is coming up. It's a great day, lots of eating. So watch this whole video if you want some really yummy but really healthy snack ideas. Hey guys, it's Mona, and today's video is all about Super Bowl. So I don't know when you'll be watching this video, maybe after the Super Bowl. Right now I'm filming it and it's gonna be coming up tomorrow by the time this goes out. But these are also really good ideas for any kind of party, so it doesn't necessarily have to be Super Bowl. I just thought this would be kind of fun and festive. I have a lot of really good snack ideas here that are pretty healthy. Like, they don't have to be perfect. It is Super Bowl, so you can enjoy yourself a little bit, but they are all vegan. They're all dairy free. A lot of them are gluten free, and they're not really obviously vegan. So I even suggest not necessarily telling everyone what goes in these snacks, just display them on the table and let everyone enjoy. Also, they could be just for you if you're hosting something and you want your own little healthy snacks. I just got some really quick, easy ideas. So let's just start with the first one because it's right here. I'm going to kind of pull everything in front of me as I talk about it. This is Zevia. I've talked about Zevia quite a bit on my other videos. It's an amazing soda alternative. So I know that, soda is a popular drink like on days when you're watching sports. If you're going to drink soda, I would highly recommend switching to Zevia. Basically, it cuts out all of the nasty stuff. The only sugar that they use is stevia. That's why it's called Zevia. It's not just the sugar that I worry about in soda. There's a lot of the toxins that actually go into it, like the tartaric acid, like in Coke. It can actually be quite neurotoxic. So that's kind of my motivation for staying away from soda, as I think about the brain damage or really crazy damage it can do to my body versus just sugar, because once in a while it's okay. So definitely try it. My favorite brand of this is Black Cherry, but they've got all sorts of flavors. They have an orange soda one, like a regular lemon lime one. They've got tons of flavors, so you can try this. The next snack I want to talk about is just a little kind of hors d'oeuvre you can make that I've been doing for a while, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. It sounds really weird, trust me, but once you try it, everyone that tries this loves it. So you can take any kind of cracker. I love these crackers. These are Mary's Gone crackers. So this cracker does tend to taste really healthy, but if you get the everything flavor, the spices in it really help. So if you're gonna try this, especially in Super Bowl or for other people, I wouldn't recommend getting the plain one. I would get the everything or the sea salt and black pepper. There's a couple of other flavored ones. Any cracker will do. Then you've gotta have avocado and a little bit of sauerkraut. So there's a difference between kind of the shelf, the sauerkraut that can stay on a shelf for a while, that's not raw, that's got a lot of other ingredients, versus just actual raw sauerkraut. So sauerkraut in general is so good for you. It's a fermented food, and fermented foods are really good for gut health. It's almost like taking a probiotic. You're getting that naturally. So I also really love mixing in really healthy foods like this when it's kind of a big eating day and I'm going to be combining different foods a lot and maybe not eating as healthy or as I normally do, just to prevent bloat, to kind of keep your gut healthy. So it's really great for that, but also it tastes so good. I feel like sauerkraut is something people eat on hot dogs and burgers. I actually never liked it growing up. And then one time I just tried raw sauerkraut a few years ago and became obsessed. I can eat it by the spoonfuls. So there's different brands. This one I have is Cleveland Kraut. So wherever your local grocery store is, you can find whatever brand they have. So you're literally just going to take a little spoonful of sauerkraut onto a cracker, and then also mash a little bit of avocado. Actually, probably makes more sense to put the avocado on first. Let's do that. And all I did was, I like to slice an avocado, and then with the other half, just kind of mash it with your fork. You don't have to even dirty a bowl like this. Less dishes for you. So just mash it onto here. You could also do this on toast, but on crackers, it's really good as well. Let's do a little more sauerkraut. Like that. And you guys, these bites, something about the combo is so good. I actually just posted this on my Instagram story because I did avocado toast with it and everyone was really weirded out, but then people tried it and loved it. So that's literally it. You can kind of make it your own, but just these two ingredients, and they also pair really well together if you are interested in food combining and kind of how things digest in the gut. So so good. Oh my God, I could eat 50 of these. Honestly, You guys have to try it. Even if you think it looks gross, please, because I will prove you wrong. Okay, so that's one snack. Avocado is also just a great staple to have. I mean, you could make your own guacamole, like literally just mixing. You could take a spoonful of salsa, not a spoonful, but you could take this avocado, take a little salsa, mix it together, and it can make the fastest guacamole ever if you'd rather do it yourself. You can obviously buy guacamole. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit on avocado, but I will get into the dips later as well. So while we're over here, let me just also share this little chocolate that I have. Hughes Chocolate is one of my favorite brands because it is dark chocolate, but it's also really, really yummy. So I know a lot of times dark chocolate can be really bitter, but chocolate in itself, I've talked about this, is so healthy in its natural form. It has more antioxidants than almost any fruit that you would eat. That's the pure form of cacao. So literally think of chocolate, like when it's in its healthy form, as like a food to boost your skin glow, to help your heart, just to fight free radicals. There's so many great benefits. So I feel totally guilt-free eating it, of course in moderation, but this one is also really good. It has little like sour golden berries in it, which kind of funny because I just was sharing golden berries on my Instagram. No one knows what they are. If you guys haven't tried them, you should look for them. They're like really unique, like almost looks like a tomato, but kind of tastes like a berry. But these are really kind of got that chocolate and sweetness to it. I would even just put these in a bowl and then people can try them. I think it's better to not share with like guests and things like, this is vegan, this is super healthy. Just let them try it and have their opinion first. This is a really good chocolate brand. Okay, let's get into dips a little bit. First, I'll talk about this cheese. So there's a lot of vegan cheese in the market and some of the texture is kind of weird, and this brand specifically I found that just tastes so good. It really, really like tastes like cheese. I mean, it's been a long time since I've had cheese, but I will say, even when I give my non-vegan friends this, they really like it. It's not necessarily the cleanest, but it's superbowl. So like we don't have to be perfect and stressed. This is not like an everyday thing. So if you want to put this out on display, you can get it in slices. It's just really good. You could even put like, you know, little slices on a cracker. I'm gonna have a bite. Oh my God, it's so good. It also melts really nicely. So if you want to make like a cheese sauce or like whatever you want to do with your recipes, definitely try it. The brand is called Chow, and this one is the creamy original. It really tastes like cheese. Like it's been a long time, but like I'm having flashbacks of when I used to love cheese. So, okay, we'll set that aside. Now let's get into dips. This is my favorite one. I'm really excited because there's literally no reason to not have a vegan dairy-free dip. Like there's so many good options and they're so accessible. Obviously some of these are like refrigerated brands, but if you want ones that aren't, you can find them online. Like this brand, Siete, is one I've shared for years. I discovered their tortillas like maybe 4 years ago and was so like excited because they're like gluten-free, grain-free, vegan. They cover like everything, and they've kind of slowly come out with other products. So this one is a sprouted bean dip. I've just got to read you the ingredients because they're minimal and really amazing. It's water, pinto beans, coconut oil, distilled vinegar, sea salt, green bell pepper, coconut aminos. Coconut aminos, if you've ever had Bragg's, is a really great alternative to soy sauce. Lower sodium, still tastes really good. Jalapeno, coconut sugar, like minimal. Paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, organic, oregano, flaxseed, and fermented extract. So it's super minimal. Sorry I read all those to you, but it didn't take me long to get through. There's nothing weird. There's nothing that you don't know what it is. No weird preservatives. And it tastes like queso dip. Like they even have a spicy cashew one. Cashews are a little harder for me to digest, so I usually go for something else. But if you like cashews, and also I'd probably eat it on Super Bowl, who cares? So that's a really good one. You can even, eat this with any kind of tortilla chip. You could use a cracker, like whatever you want to dip in. I talked about guacamole a little bit. This is just an easy one to have. It's everyone's favorite. It's obviously naturally vegan. Always look on the ingredients because sometimes like people might make a guacamole brand that adds in a little bit of, who knows, like sour cream or dairy, but just look on the back and I can't imagine there's a store that wouldn't have this. Like almost everywhere has guacamole. Kite Hill is one of my favorite brands also. I like this brand because they make vegan cream cheese, and I like it because it's almond based, and just naturally cashews are a little bit harder to digest than almonds. for most people. So this is one of the only brands that I found that uses almonds. Almost every other one uses cashews. It does have a little more of like the xanthan gum and things in it that some of the cashew brands don't have. So there's that negative to it, but it tastes really similar to cream cheese. Like I've given it to a lot of like, you know, non-vegan friends and they like it. I've done this with like vegan bagels a lot and it's really good. I also think it's kind of cool to mix this with salsa. I think this is a dip. I didn't eat this growing up, but I kind of remember going over to some of my American friends' houses. I feel like they would mix like a salsa and a cream cheese together, or like a sour cream. So I've done this before where I just take salsa and a little bit of Kite Hill, mix it together. This is also a really good hack. Like let's say there's a recipe that you like to make and it calls for like a cream cheese or a sour cream. Especially when you mix things into recipes, you don't notice like that it's vegan or that it's not the exact same because it's not like you're just eating it on its own and you have that texture on its own. So it's a really good one to mix. This brand is called Bitchin' Sauce and it doesn't look like it'd be vegan or healthy. I feel like it looks like it would be like, I don't know, some like random brand, but again, I'll pop up the ingredients on the screen so I don't bore you guys with that, but it's very similar to this. It's also got the coconut aminos. This full on tastes like a buffalo sauce. Like this one I got is chipotle. Like I would bet money that no one would know this was vegan or like you wouldn't even notice the difference. So I think a lot of times with things like this, you just have to try it because looking at it, it might seem weird. I remember the first time I saw tofu or tried it, I thought it was disgusting. I thought the texture was gross and was like, who would ever eat this? And then, I mean, I don't eat it that much because I don't like that much soy, but I love it. I love cooking it. I love it like in stir fries. So you just have to give things a chance. And also maybe after switching for like a month or a few weeks, you kind of forget what the other one tastes like. And then this just becomes your new norm. That's just kind of how life works. Another one I wanted to share is tahini. I actually got this specifically because I thought it was cool that it came in like a little squeeze bottle. So tahini is basically just sesame seeds ground up. So peanut butter is peanuts ground up, like almond butter is almond butter. Tahini is just sesame seeds. I love sesame seeds because they help you build your own collagen. And collagen we want in our skin. It's something that gets depleted as you age. It's what gives you that like plumpness to your face. And instead of taking all these like collagen powders that use animal collagen or anything else, why not just try to keep building your own collagen? So including sesame seeds is really great. Obviously in tahini, it's more concentrated because it takes a lot to make a little. The other thing with this is it's a really, really great staple for like a vegan ranch dressing or like a dip. It gives like that creaminess to different recipes. I'm actually putting a blog post in the description that will already be there when you watch this video with a few like really simple recipes that you can use with tahini. You could literally mix it with a little bit of like water and garlic and like a little mustard and make your own ranch dressing. So I'll pop up some recipes below, but you could also take this and mix it in with the salsa or, do your own thing with this. But I wanted to share it this way because if you also see it, sometimes it comes in like a jar like this where it looks like an almond butter. And sometimes just that marketing and presentation will trick you. Like if you were to see this in like an almond butter thing, you would never think like this would be a good dip. You might just associate it with like a breakfast. But I feel like when you see it like this, it's like easy to just like squeeze on and it's the exact same ingredient. So don't ever be fooled by the way things are like marketed or packaged. Just look at the ingredients and know you can kind of like make it your own. The next thing I want to talk about is kombucha. And this is kind of a good drink to have for a few different reasons. First of all, if you've never had it, it might seem a little bit weird. The first time I tried it, I actually liked it because I grew up eating this like Persian yogurt drink that is a little bit sour too. But it tastes a little bit weird at first, but once you love it, like it becomes so addicting. It actually kind of turned into my like when I want a juice or something sweet, it was like my alternative. It has carbonation, which I love. I just really love drinking carbonated things. I enjoy it. It does have sugar because you can't actually ferment anything without sugar. So this is like one of the only things where like it has cane sugar, but there's no way to avoid it or else you wouldn't make kombucha. I think it's a really great alternative to alcohol if you don't want to drink. It has kind of a similar consistency as beer. Like a lot of times when you go places where they make kombucha, they literally put kombucha on tap. You can have it on ice. So I think sometimes with drinking at parties, there's like that social aspect to having it. And sometimes you're just like nursing a drink, and I've done it with like club soda and lime, but this is just like an alternative. I do want to point out that there is a small amount of alcohol in here, like traces of it, not enough to get you drunk or like, you can drive with kombucha, but if you have ever struggled with addiction, alcohol addiction, this is definitely not a good idea. I know that anything with a little bit of alcohol can trigger it. This is more if you just don't feel like drinking that day, or maybe like don't want to be hungover the next day and don't want to deal with it, or maybe just like the carbonation. So it's kind of a good alternative. So definitely give it a try. My favorite, make sure it doesn't explode on me. Oh, don't shake it first. Okay, anyway, my favorite is this brand. It's called Health Aid, specifically the Pink Lady. Like, I think this is the best brand of all of them. It's just always been my personal favorite. I'll take a little sip. So good. It literally like smells like beer. Like, it reminds me of college. Next, I wanted to get into little veggie dippers. So obviously most parties have like a little veggie tray and they're like pretty basic and boring and like it's all been done. So I think it's really fun to mix it up. Everyone loves Persian cucumbers. And one thing that no one ever does is just eat them like this. I'm Persian, so I grew up just like grabbing a cucumber like with a little bit of sea salt, but I think it could be really fun to like have these on display out. You could have some cut up too, but cucumbers I feel like are always the first thing to go, and like, to do anything. Also, the peel has so many nutrients. Some of you might be watching this like, that's nothing new, we've done this, but for some reason when I do this on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever, everyone's so amazed that you can just bite into a cucumber. So for those of you that don't know, you do not have to peel it, just wash it. And if you want a little sea salt, it's really good. I feel like cherry tomatoes, these are like little mini heirloom tomatoes. They're so good. You could either slice them in half or just have them out. Cucumbers and tomatoes are my favorite together, but you could use these instead of chips or with chips. Like sometimes when I'm like in Mexico and I want to order like a guac and chip, I always ask for half veggies and half chips so I can have a little bit of both. I really wanted to share jicama in this video because I don't think it's something I've shared on here before. I'm going to pop it up right here and kind of show you guys what it is. But jicama is the most amazing veggie to dip into different things. By the way, I'm sorry for the pipes. It's New York City. What can we do? If you guys can hear that, maybe you can't. But jicama is a really amazing veggie that I think is underrated. It's actually somewhat filling, like it is a little more of like a starchy veggie, but it looks kind of like a watery like stick, almost like a hybrid of like a carrot and celery, but it's white colored. I love dipping it into guac. I love putting a little lime on it, just using it as a dip. So these are just like a little more fun, like unique veggies that you could add to the table. And then lastly, this is something that's literally always in my fridge and everyone thinks it's so weird until they actually try one. Mini baby bell peppers are everything. They're so sweet, number one. They're not spicy, so these peppers are completely sweet. There's something about the shape of them that just makes them taste better, which I think makes sense. Like if you took a bite of a cherry tomato versus a big sliced tomato, or if you ate a baby carrot, I think baby carrots taste different than big carrots, like regular carrots. So these taste different. They just are more enjoyable to eat. They're so easy. You just rinse them, you put them out. Also, bite right in. It's also cool because there has been a lot of like flus and sickness going around, and bell peppers have more vitamin C than an orange. They don't get enough credit for the vitamin C that they have. So this can be a great immune booster also. And just easy, like no prep, just wash and rinse and put out on a plate. 2 more tips. Okay, this is fresh coconut that I think could be really fun too. I think buying it pre-sliced is better than getting the actual coconut because it's a lot of work and cutting through a coconut is really, really difficult. But this is a great kind of keto, vegan, like paleo snack. It's like high in fat. It won't spike your blood sugar. High in good fat. Great for your skin. It's filling. It'll give you energy. Just bite right into it. Kind of just a fun one to mix up and, you know, mix it up from like the chips and all the standard stuff on Super Bowl. I feel like this is going to be the best Super Bowl spread ever. And then lastly, this is just kind of a random find. I saw it and I tried them, but they were really good. It's this brand called Dang Sticky Rice Chips. They're gluten-free, they're vegan, they're just more of like a traditional snack. And I thought it could be a good alternative to like a regular chip that might have dairy in it, might have gluten in it. I don't have a gluten intolerance. I don't have celiac. I've tested for it, but I still always try to eat gluten-free. I'd say like 70%, just because it can cause inflammation. Like there's no need for it. Like there's so many other options, and same with grain-free. Like when there's grain-free options, I take them because I like rice and I like quinoa. So I know I'm going to be getting grains in other parts of my diet. But if there's great grain-free options, like why not have it? So these have a little bit of like a Thai flavor, and they use palm fruit oil, but it's sustainably sourced. Palm oil is something that can be very not sustainable, and it's pretty bad for the environment. So I like if they have a sustainable source in this one. So those are my Super Bowl snack ideas. Again, you can use these anytime. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely check the link below for the blog post on some simple recipes I'm gonna share. And if you guys have any other like recipe recommendations, leave it in the comments. I'll try to link as many of these below that I can that aren't like refrigerated items. So let me know what you think. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.